Well, our very own Paul Mbogwa Thiongo there on the ground in Kiambu County, I think. And of course, driving home the point that indeed utilizing artificial intelligence in agriculture has immense potential. And of course, our guest here in studio, Kenneth Kabwe, here to drive that point home and explore just how this can be made to work for farmers. Ken, karibu tena.
Asante.
Now, of course, for many people, they will be skeptical. And they will say that, is this thing aiming to replace extension services? Is this thing aiming to do the work that government and others have done in the past, or are they operating together?
We tend to look at it from a point of working together. And our solution is to enhance the already gap that is already there. As we were discussing, I said the ratio of farmer to agronomist is very low, and extension agent.
Yes.
I think in the 70s, extension agents were very, very, very important individuals.
Yes, ubiquitous. They tended to be everywhere.
Yes, they tended to be everywhere. And at this particular point, it seems like we do not have enough. And the ones who are there, they may need a bit more assistance.
So we are saying AI will be everywhere.
It will be everywhere. Yes.
So then think about it like this, because when you think about the usual demographic of farmer, they wouldn't be able to do the sort of things that we are saying. How has it been getting the older person, the usual farmer to date? Because as we know, the generation is changing, yes, but still you'd find that there's still a lot of older, more skeptical, less tech-savvy individual out there.
Yeah. Obviously, this is something, yes, that we have encountered. But then we find that around 50% of the farmers that we have in the country would be able to access our system. We have reduced the barrier to entry. We do not have an application per se on the Play Store. So we go through WhatsApp. So we're looking to find the farmer where the farmer is. Yes.
So if you think about the work that you're doing, is this being done anywhere else in the world? Has it been tried out in a place and we can say that it's working there, so I think we can use it here?
Yes. So we've seen some solutions in India. We have seen also some solution in Morocco. And what we do, some of them we've even spoken to them and looking to partner and ensure that also this solution can be given to across the 550 million small-scale farmers. Yeah.
Okay. The good, I think, move right there. And of course, food for thought in terms of how larger-scale operations can make this work. But I want you to hold that thought. We want to go in a short commercial break. On the other end of that break, the conversation will continue as we look at just how this can be made to work better, and of course, the different variables in its application. Don't go anywhere. Back in 2 minutes.
Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Farm Kenya.
Well, thank you for staying with us here on Farm Kenya. My name is Peter Wakabra, and let's get right into the conversation again. And of course, our expert Ken is still here with us in studio. So Ken, when you think about this technology and the fact that it's based on WhatsApp, you said?
Yes.
Where does a person start? I'm a farmer. I see I have a bit of a challenge with my crop. What do I do?
Okay. Actually, it's as simple as when someone gives you a number.
Yes.
And you want to contact them through WhatsApp. So what do I mean? You just get the number of our chatbot.
Yes.
Once you get the number of our chatbot, then you just message it. If you tell it hi, it will come back and tell you hi. This is what we're offering: crop, plant doctor, market pricing. We come again for weather. Then
so there's different products within the application.
Yes, there are different products. So what do you do next? You just take a picture. The same way that anyone would tell you, take a picture of what is in front of you. Just take a picture. We recommend that you take a picture of one leaf of the affected that would represent all the other leaves, which obviously you can also go to other leaves and confirm. Once you take that picture of that one leaf, it should come after 5 seconds. You should get a response. Once you get the response, you will see the treatment, you will see the prevention, you will see anything that you need to do with. And then also down there, we give you an option of talking to an agronomist. Yes.
So obviously this is based on additional information, farmer data. How do you get that?
Okay. So as I discussed, we have an agronomist on board.
Yes.
So the role of the agronomist is taking the different picture of the same disease. And once they take that, we put it into our system, and then we train our system to tell it that this is the actual disease that the farmer is experiencing. And we ensure that we give the correct information. For photos which are not being taken nicely, we'll ask the farmer to actually go back and take another photo so that we do not misdiagnose.
If the AI says, hey, this is not the way within my parameters. So then earlier on you talked about having a select types of crops onboarded already.
Yes.
So what are these that are covered using this technology, and how many more do you expect to onboard?
Okay. So currently we have over 60 crops which have been onboarded. We can identify over 700 diseases accurately and give also the prevention and the treatment.
Yes.
Just looking at this bowl
Basket.
of fruits,
Yes.
basket of fruits, we can identify onions here.
Yes.
We can identify pears.
That's a pear.
We can identify bananas.
That is eggplant.
Eggplant,
Yes.
oranges.
Orange, yes.
And then even an apple there.
Yes.
And then also we have maize or corn.
Yes, and chili and a carrot.
Chili, yes. So that is just to name a few. So there is definitely a whole list of crops that we can do. Eventually, we want to be able to identify like all the crops.
Yes.
And as new variants also come into play, our agronomists are also reading and doing research and ensuring that they can be able to identify this and help the farmer.
So you'd find that the gospel about the proper use of chemicals has been sung all over. And many organizations now work with experts to ensure that if a farmer will apply their product, then they usually have an expert in the application in different localities. So will your system then assist people in getting that as well? Because usually the agronomist with the agrovet would say, if you're buying this, then nani ndio anapiganga ikitu, usiende kujipigia we mwenyewe, so that they do it properly. So does that also work within your ecosystem?
Yes. So that's actually the next step that we're moving into. Currently what we have, we give organic recommendations and the chemical recommendations.
Yes.
And we want to talk about more organic than chemical. Obviously, it cannot be changed overnight.
Yes.
So right now what we're doing, we're also working with the agrochemicals. We're also working with fertilizer sellers.
Yes.
And then we recommend this kind of products to them. But then we also inform the farmer that this is a recommendation.
So then what about issues of quality? Have you sort of vetted your partners to ensure that they will be the best in the market, they will deliver on your promise and that sort of thing?
Yes. So we go through the government, that is the Pest Control Board.
Yes.
Looking at the certificates that they have. We come again and look at farmer testimonials to understand how the product is to their farm. And then now we come again and now we can easily recommend these products.
So in terms of applicability for young farmers who are starting out, for farmers who are well established, for people who've been in this game for a while, so what sort of market are you targeting, and how well does this or similar products work with different aspects of farming and different grades of farmers?
So do you ask the question?
Yes. So for example, I'm a guy who's just starting out. I have a 50 by 100 of onion or tomato. Will it work for me? Yes. There's a guy who has 60 acres of tomatoes that we interviewed in Rongai the other day. Will this work for him?
Yes.
Is the applicability the same? What do they have to change?
Okay.
And what about the issue of cost?
Okay. So for the chatbot, at this particular time is completely free.
Okay.
We want application. We want the farmer to actually have experience of what we are actually doing.
And this means they can also use it as a second opinion.
Yes.
Yes.
Can also use it as a second opinion. So for the small-scale farmer, a phone is enough.
Yes.
The 5 acres, the 4 acres, you can easily go and check it. The problem is that person in Rongai who has 60 acres. So what do we do for that kind of person? We've collaborated with drone technology. And this drone technology, as we know, drones that are used in weddings are for pictures.
Yes.
And essentially, a phone just takes a picture to identify what a crop and disease is. So the same drone will be used. It will just be mapped.
Yes.
Should be able to do the 60 acres. Probably that's even under a day.
Yes.
Because it's totally unmanned. And it will be able to take multiple pictures, which comes into our system and our database and identifies.
Yes. So is the system, you talked about India, you talked about Morocco, you talked about, so in Kenya, for the rest of Africa, there are opportunities, do you think, for you to go out and start to make a difference in those places as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, for us is to take care of our own, the Kenyans. But then at the same time, this is a technology that can be used across the continent. We have some organic users from Tanzania
Yes.
and Uganda. And when I say organic, we've not really advertised, but then they've been able to find us. We've also had users
And the
from...
system still works for them.
And the system still works for them. And also, we've also had some farmers from India.
Yes.
So right now our mainstay is Kenya, but then we'll be going all across Africa, dealing with changes in language. There's the Francophone, but then for now we go to Kenya, then East Africa, then we go to the world. Yes.
So what would you like to see this happen so that more people can start to use such technology, such products, especially when you know that the need out there for extension services is largely unmet?
So I would say that technology is reliable. Technology is there on our phones. We've made it easy for you to be able to work on it through just by your WhatsApp. So please use technology and get reliable information for you to get better produce and be able to be a happy farmer.
And inachagua simu, you know, some phones, picture you take 10 pixels and the simu is like, so is there a baseline of saying we would need this kind of picture for our system to be able to be compatible?
So
or the farmer can try out whatever they have?
The farmer can try out what they have. We also come again and also comment on the type of image that comes. So if the image does not reach the satisfaction level for us to be able to diagnose,
Yes.
we will be able to come again and talk to you and call you and tell you, okay, I think we can look for agents. So we have agents at farm level.
Yes.
So in like Nyandarua, so in like those kind of areas, our agronomists would easily be able to come to your farm. Yes.
So then I want to talk about the ecosystem that having a system like this then creates, because when you think about it, the fact that this system is now working, you have the people in the background, agronomists, you have the person who's created the system, then of course you have yourself, and you also have the people who are producing the different products that are going to this, you have the agrovet. So the potential for creation of an ecosystem that creates an entire system of jobs is very, very big. What do we do to make things like this grow bigger?
I would say partnerships. And we don't have to build what other people have built.
Yes.
We've seen so many technologies in agri-tech which operate in silos. And this data may be there. These partnerships may be there with banks, with government. There's an aspect of government of who we work with because of the agro inputs. So partnerships would be very key to take this to the next level and create a whole ecosystem where the farmer can use it and get everything that they require from production to market. Yes.
So when it comes to the other modules, the market information, climate, those sorts of things, what's the uptake been like? What's the impact been like?
So what we've seen, like the market pricing, we've seen agri-tech companies using us to check and be able to understand what the market is doing and how much they're selling. Because obviously, if you've been in farming, prices change every day.
Yes, a real challenge.
Sometimes I think even like tomatoes, it changes every hour.
Mm.
So the uptake has been very good. When it comes to weather, we not only just give the weather and say it's 14 degrees.
Yes.
We also come again and tell you we think that you should actually be thinking of planting.
Mm-hmm. And the reason I asked that question is because I know people who are in the last 1 year were in cabbage, and they planted the first time dry, so burnt again dry, next season dry, and then the third time around they said kitu imenisumbua, so no planting. And then the price has just hit the roof.
Yeah.
So out of the market, you plant your fingers twice, not able to recoup. So would something like that then be able to empower this person to then know, according to climate data, what sorts of predictions to make to empower them in terms of being in the right market, being in the market, and of course putting things in the ground that will get them to put some money in their pocket?
Well, I think that would definitely require a lot of data.
Yes.
Because, and us at FAMSA, we're very data driven.
Yes.
Because if the cabbages are not doing well, you'll find that maybe sometimes also regulation also matters.
Yes.
Because you'll find that cabbages will come from another country, which will still come and distort the price. So I think for now, once there's enough data and coming at production level from across the country and having a predictable regulatory, then it would be wise to now tell the farmer, I think you should go and move to this particular direction.
We've seen instances where the challenges that farmers face are epidemic level, right? So that if it's the fall armyworm, entire counties, if it's some sort of blight again because of climate, entire kilometers and kilometers and kilometers of this thing. Would this sort of system then be able to put an individual farmer ahead of everyone else? Because if you know what's going on, if you know what to do, then at least you might have a leg up while everyone else has challenges.
Yeah. So absolutely. So as I come back to my point on data, for now our onboarding method, we get clear information on what the farmer is growing.
So you ask questions?
Yes, we ask questions. What the farmer is growing, where are they located? So once we know all this, and then we start seeing images that are coming and pointing to a particular disease, then we know that particular area already has an issue. And for us is to be proactive and inform these other farmers and inform the agronomists for them to be able to is it demarcate or ensure that this spread is not as fast as it's going. Because at the end of the day, this impacts our food security.
So then I get the impression that while the chatbot and the AI aspect of it is the front end, is just the start, there's quite a bit of work that actually is going into building an ecosystem of information, knowledge, and of course direction for farmers in terms of giving them proper instructions and arming them with the knowledge they need to make those decisions.
Yeah. Information is power.
Yes.
Yeah. And with our AI age, not only are we using it to identify, we're using it also for data analysis and knowing that this is the direction that we should be moving, the direction that we should be able to advise our farmers. So there's still a lot, and all this data will be used even for the insurance companies, for them, as long as they know that there's no disease in this particular area, or there's a disease, they know how to support now these coming farmers. So it's all ecosystem that is just beginning.
Okay, interesting. Now, we've talked a lot about crops. Is there anything in the works for animals? We know that some farmers will just be in the animal husbandry space. Are you thinking in those lines, giving them a leg up as well?
Yes. So that's our next step in terms of disease and identification. So we'll be moving now to the livestock.
Yes.
We'll be looking at dairy. We know it's very popular. So that is the next step for us. Yeah.
But you know, some animals will not cooperate while you stand and take a picture, right?
That's true.
And you'll take a picture like this and they just, or they pick a fight.
Yeah.
Now, when you think about the overall impact of agriculture on our economy, the sorts of differences that these things can make and the potential that we then have to provide these solutions and give a boost to this sector, why aren't these things more broad-based? Why aren't we seeing people beating a path to your step? Why aren't we seeing government shouting and saying, hey, look at this guy is doing these wonderful things? How come?
I think agriculture has been seen as a dirty job.
Really?
Well, maybe for the young people.
Yes.
Because also most of the people who we work with are older farmers. Yeah.
If we were to then transform that and make agriculture cool, if we said you're the principal in charge of that job, what would you do?
First of all, we start by showing them the money.
So there is money in agriculture.
There is money in agriculture. Once we show the youth that there is money in agriculture,
yes,
and we give them the path into getting into it, then I'm sure we will be the most wealthy generation. Yes.
So then I tend to look at the sorts of attempts that people have made in agriculture, and they even attempt to use solutions such as yours, but they will often not stay in there long. So few trials, burn their fingers, leave, those sorts of things. How long did you have to work on your solution to make it work?
I think agriculture is a long game, and if you're doing some production, and as I said, there are many people who have started farming as a side hustle.
Yes.
And they become telephone farmers, and they burn their fingers.
Bad idea, yes.
But if you've been in business, business does not become successful in one day or in one try. So it's consistent effort and learning.
Yes.
And putting all this technology into place and being resilient and knowing that there's a bigger, everyone eats every day, 3 times a day. So it's just for resilience and also choosing the right crop and also getting the right advice and getting like extension services like we do, so that you have better production, and then also going ahead and knowing the market beforehand.
Yes. Earlier on, you talked about the move towards either organic or, as we sort of saw before, biopesticides and that sort of thing. So the application of non-chemical, non-commercial, in the traditional sense of the word, commercial fertilizer, commercial chemicals, that sort of thing. Is this helpful first in terms of quality, health concerns, and then of course affordability and cost? Will it make my land possibly more productive and sustainable?
Yes. So your last question on productivity, on the productive land,
yes,
it will definitely will, because you're using more organic kind of solution.
Yes.
And as I said, we give both organic and also chemical. There is organic kind of pesticide is also sometimes considered a bit more expensive.
Okay.
And this also should open up the market for the people who are producing those kind of organic kind of solutions. Yes.
So as we start to then wind up, what would you be saying to the people who out there who are looking for work, who are looking for opportunity, who are looking for space in the agriculture space, but are unsure whether they want to get their hands dirty? In this case, application of technology, development of solutions, those sorts of things. The opportunities seem to be endless.
Yeah, opportunities are endless. It starts manual and then goes to technology. So what I would encourage them is start today. There are very many pieces of lands which are bare, and we have so many idle. And you'll find someone owns 60 acres but does not even use it. So there is also an aspect of also knowing who are the owners of this and being able to list these kind of lands, and just getting the right advice, as I said, and getting into it.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'll finish by asking you the same question I asked you in the beginning. we are scared. Will AI take over our jobs? Will we see one huge farm in Kenya with just one guy reporting to work and just bots going out and testing and doing things like we see in movies? Eventually.
I believe so.
Okay. Is that a good or a bad thing? Because you see, then maybe we might move to doing better quality jobs and the food might be much cheaper and those sorts of things.
It will be much better. Because the machines do standardized quality.
Yes. Time and
time again, and identifying issues, knowing what to do next, knowing what to plan next.
No hitting and missing.
Yes.
Asante sana, Ken. Thank you very much for your time. It has been a very insightful, very interesting conversation. And of course, that we'll check in again when you have made the step of either going regional and bringing in the animals.
Yes.
So we can try taking the pictures and see if they cooperate.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for today's edition of the Farm Kenya show. It has been a blast. My name is Peter Akaba. The news continues here in just a few minutes in Swahili. We'll see you again tomorrow at the same time for yet another edition of Farm Kenya. Kwaheri ya kuonana.
Unalima ardhi, mlango wa kulima, kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja.